10K every day. Got a phone call, that's a whole nother play. We the wave and the rest of these boys in the way. I'm the type that'll spit in the bitch nigga face. If he ain't trying to punch, I'ma slide with the K. You the type that'll tell if you go on the stain. Nigga know where I'm from, we don't mention no name. I remember them days I was locked in the cage in the race. Now I'm in the free world getting paid. These niggas bitches be stalking my page. Niggas lame to go die for this little bit of fame. Don't cut out his tongue if he mention my name. When we catch him, we might just see him out of space. My boy, he a demon, it's all in his face. He ain't getting it in blood, he gon' take out his brain. He diamonds so icy, feel like Johnny Dang. And this chopper goes, cause we silence the Drakes.
Bitch, baby, that really wanna be. Trying to bite the move. You always watch me on your TV. The bitch is like a pool, I be diving in the sea. $1 million nigga in the condo like a Mino. The world is like the ocean, I'ma hit like the casino. I'm fish. If I the bitch like Nemo. Extension, I'm itching, I can steak up your burrito. I can cake with Superman, who trying to be a hero. Big Joseph, that's $1 million lawyer. Slick dough, she ain't gonna buy the trip, I put it on my door. Triple thousand for a purse, she only 2, I let us for it. Could've spent it on no.
We're here rocking it tonight. We got some good guests. We got our man Max. He's going to be in the house tonight. Talking about his local fight. This kid's been around a long time. And I'm excited to talk to him tonight. This is the first ever Big Boy Live Network. It's time, man. You know, it's been a while. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about World Class Fight League coming up June 17th. Or January 17th, excuse me. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Got to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Pro Health, Dr. Doug. Man, he makes it happen. It's where it's at. I've been using Doug for years. I know a lot of people that have too. Check him out. You guys got to just, if you're a fighter, if you're active, if you're getting older like me, it's got to work, man. You got to go see him, man. So, yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. It's episode 1 of the Big Boy Live Network. It's going to be awesome. I'm your host, Big Boy. Let's figure it out. Where'd I go? Check. Mandy, there it is. You know, one of my favorite things about everything I do is the learning process that I go for. The learning process that goes into doing these kind of things like podcasts and all that good stuff. It's very frustrating, I have to tell you. And we previously did the Big Boy Live Network, Big Boy Live podcast. We previously did that. We had a lot of cool guests. A lot of things were fun. We got to go travel all over the country with Bare Knuckle News and Susan Sangari, which was just the most amazing experience. Hang out with champions, hang out with innovators. It's just something that it's fun. And, with that lifestyle, it brings a knowledge of the business, a knowledge of the culture, a knowledge of the lifestyle, a knowledge of everything. So I'm excited about this, man. I really am. I'm excited for this Big Boy Live Network. We got a lot of great things going on. I mean, there's so much. This month alone in January, we have so much. We have World Class Fight League, January 17th. We have Combat Quest Pro, January 31st. So January is full of fights. So you're going to be seeing a lot of local talent. That Combat Quest is a pro show. Ralph's putting World Class Fight League together. He's got like 25 plus fights. So that's 50 young men and women's lives that are going to be changed in one night. And that's just the impact that this sport has here locally. Talk a little bit about this kid that I'm bringing on tonight, Max. I've seen this young man I've seen him fight in World Class Fight League. I've seen him everywhere. He's an up and comer. He's trained all over the place. He's very well known. He's very respected, and he's a former champion in CFFC. And now he's coming. Lately, he's been coaching. He coaches over at Def War. He's been watching Max coach is another. Watching the kid fight is fun, but watching him coach is just as fun. And I think that it's really cool to be able to see guys like Max grow in this sport. So shout out to him. Shout out to everybody tonight. Episode 1 is going to be fun. I want to thank everybody for joining. If you're in the comments section, this is our first time. This is my first time doing it. I didn't go to tech school. I didn't do anything like that. So it's just I don't know what to do about that. The producer just came in. She's saying there is a delay with the sound, so your lips don't match the words. Okay, well, we look like we're from Japanese. Hey, I can deal with that. Maybe they're going to dub my voice in other languages. So thanks, shout out to our producer, Mandy. She's in the house. She's our sound tech and everything. Yeah, yeah, Mandy. Yeah. So what we're here to do and what we're going to do is we're going to try to make this work. I'm brand new at this. I've never really messed with audio. I'm doing this all on our own. We're doing this locally. But we're gonna bring Max in. We're gonna talk to him. We're gonna see. I just my thing about these guys is this: when you watch a fighter grow from a kid in kids class to an amateur fighter to an amateur champion to a professional fighter to a pro champion to instructor, teacher, motivator, mentor. That's where it's at. All right. Past that is commentator, et cetera, in this sport. So that's where it's at, or podcaster, et cetera. For me, it's just for fun. But that's why I enjoy about Max. That's why I like Max a lot. Is I see the love he has in it, and it's impressive. It's the kind of love that I like to see other fighters have in this sport, and it's the dedication, it's the discipline, it's everything. So let's see if we can get him up here. Let's so that's me. Here's Max. Oh shit, don't dox Max. God damn, I have to edit that. Sorry, Max. Alright. FaceTime. Here we go. Let's try this out. This is gonna be the first time we've done this. How do I turn my camera off?
Let me see if I'm all set up right here.
Hey, look, can you hear me, Max?
Oh, I can hear you, big doggy.
Dude.
How you holding up, brother?
Bro, you know how excited I am to have this stuff working right now?
Hey, it's coming together beautifully, man. I was typing into the live stream. I appreciate all the kind words, by the way. Thank you again.
But Max, the thing is it's not fake. It's legit. It's words that Max, think about what age I saw you coming into the gym.
Dude, flashback to when you were at AFC. It was my third amateur bout, and I remember that interview like it was yesterday, brother. Like, that had to have been, 2016?
What the hell was it? AFC? Oh, Arena Fighting Championships.
Yep, over in Newport Richie.
Yeah.
In Newport Richie, you used to have the little ice rink.
Yeah.
You guys would put over top, cage on top and everything. That was a beautiful time. Just like yesterday, but damn, time flies, dude.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is we've as fighters, as coaches, as people in the business, we've seen people come and go, and the ones that are still there, that's the ones that matter. You know what I mean? That's the ones that still have the patience, have the strength, and have the confidence to still be here, like yourself and myself.
Absolutely, brother, man. Absolutely.
So before we get into things, I want to kind of, you got my viewers. As a matter of fact, I hit 100 subscribers today for the first time on YouTube. Yeah, whatever, but that's great. And I got my producers coming in, make sure everything's okay. Yep, all right, good. And so my thing today is I just want all my fans to get to know you, Max. I want them to know how you are, the Candy Man. And I'm going to tell you what, all day long, me and Mandy have been arguing about how to pronounce your name. So Mandy was saying, how did you say it?
Quinones.
Quinones.
Yeah, you guys got it.
So Mandy got it. I was still like Quinones. I'm like, what? That's what I've been calling the kid. It's Max. That's how I know him. But
hey, it's better than Quiznos subs.
Yeah, it is. Wow, that's a little version of me. Let me try to fix this. But Max, what I want you to talk about right now is I want you to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Tell them about how you got your nickname. I know you're an amazing chef. Tell them a little bit about that, and let's just talk to them about what's coming up in this fight, because you're able to talk about it now.
Straight up, absolutely. So Happy New Year's, everyone. Thank you for tapping into this live stream. Thank you, Bigboy, for having me on as always, man. Love and appreciate the support. And like you said, man, we go back to the Wii days, man. You literal OG to the game, and then me, I remember when amateurs was just coming about to the scene. So it all started back, honestly, like 5 years old. I just used to get in trouble fighting a lot here hearsay, we never really got the money to go into like martial arts schools and stuff like that. My mom was a single mom of 3 boys, one of them being physically disabled. So like she did everything she could to put a roof over her head and food on the table. So fast forward, just getting into a bunch of scuffles, having internal issues and things like that I had to weed out as I got older. And I just used to love the scrap, dude. And then it got to a point, 8th grade, I got into a bad fight, and my stepfather, who wasn't living with us, but he's been in my life since I was 5 years old. He didn't live with us until after I graduated high school, but he did football as his main sport, wrestling to keep in shape. And he was like, dude, we got to get you to something. Like, you can't be getting caught up in all this foolishness. So my first day of wrestling was freshman year of high school, 2010. And then I've always had the passion since like 5th grade. I saw a GSP fight, and I was just like, dude, I want to be able to do that to someone. And then that next day, it was in 5th grade, I got in a fight at the basketball courts because it was street rules. And then it got a little bit too excessive with the fouls, and then I just did what I saw on TV. And I was like, wow, I fucked that kid up. I messed him up at that time. So I was like, man, imagine with the discipline, with the right channeling of the energy that I wanted to put into the fighting, where it could have taken me. With wrestling, it didn't plan out the way I wanted to. Scholarships didn't go the way I wanted to, but I didn't want that skill set to go to waste. So I went ahead and tried college for 1 semester. I got good grades, but it wasn't for me, dude. I didn't want to bury myself into thousands and thousands of dollars of debt just for a business degree. And I know people that don't even have a degree, or that come over not even knowing the language, the primary language, and still being able to help in a business. So I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And if my oldest brother, who is physically disabled, was able to own a recording label and things like that, a studio and things like that, why can't I? So that was a big motivating factor too, because having that brother that was always a go-getter, to see him hustle even from a chair, not being able to walk, but use his mind to articulate words and to get things done without being able-bodied, you know what I mean? So yeah. I've always found inspiration from that. So then once high school happened, went to go find an MMA gym. And then that's when I bumped into Coach Ralph Garcia, WCMA, things like that back in the day. Then I started competing under their banner, World Class Fight League. My first year, went 4-0, 5-0. Then I did 2 back-to-back losses. And then from there, took some time to really recalibrate, get stuff together. Went 3-0 then. And then from there, it was August 31st, 2019, when I had my major car accident that Dr. McLaren, and actually Pro Health, thank you, Dr. Doug, he was actually my chiropractor.
My dog, Dr.
And
Doug.
things like that. So I appreciate you, Dr. Doug, for everything you guys have done over at Pro Health. And they got me into great shape. Anthony over in Bergen Gonzalez, they really took care of me. And unfortunately, the doctor did say I didn't have the chance to walk the same, let alone fight. But then with my due diligence, hard work, I didn't want to be known as the local legend around here, because I had bigger aspirations than just to be around this local scene, you know what I mean? So after 2 years of not being able to walk, not being able to go on the mat or anything, as soon as I was able to walk, I stepped right back on the mat. And then within 6 months, went to fight Malcolm Willmaker, who's now one of the top prospects in the UFC. And we went to decision at his weight class versus I'm a flyweight 125. So from that point on, we just had to believe in myself. My wife was 7 months pregnant, and she even told me straight up, "Hey, quit your job. Like, you're leaving at 6 a.m., not coming back till 10 p.m. Shower, eat, bed at 11, rinse and repeat. You could do this full time, and then we'll make it happen." You know what I mean? So with her support, the family support, and things like that, we just got my last commission check May 5th, 2022, and then we quit working ever again for that kind of aspect, like for someone else. Made my pro debut my 27th birthday, and then from there, it's just been what it is to this day, man.
You officially became a fightrepreneur that day.
Straight up. That was the day. May 15th. 2022. Never forget that day.
You know, I think one of the coolest moments for me with you is, honestly, I got to tell you, what really gets me is watching you coach, Max. You know, that you knew me as a coach back at Tiger's World, back even everywhere I've ever been a coach. It's just something I get. I know how to fight. But coaching is not for everyone.
It's not, dude.
And you
Absolutely.
and when I watch you coach those guys, I see the heart. I see I just see everything. And even when your fighter wears a loss, I see you wear the loss. When your fighter wears a win, I see you wear the win. But what I see is I see consistency with you in this sport. Now, going forward in your career, we're coming back fighting on more of a local show again. This is kind of your home. This is where you were built. We built you at AFC, like you said. You had WCFL. So this is like a homecoming. Although CFFC was here in Tampa, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, but still, it's been a while. You're main eventing. I found out that you were fighting the day before it got announced, so I felt pretty cool about that. I actually
And,
negotiated a little bit. Maybe I might be getting in there sometime in April, but we got to see how healthy and
ah,
I already went out a winner, so I might not do it, but we'll see. There is somebody that I got some unsettled beef with. I'm not going to drop names because I don't do that, but maybe. But anyways, you're coming in here January 31st. I heard your opponent's got a nice record. You're training hard over there at Def War. What's different now than any of the previous fights? Is there anything different in your camp, in your mindset, in your family, in your emotions? Let's talk about that.
go out there and fuck shit up, do my thing. You know what I mean? It sounds cut dry as simple as it is, but it is really that simple. I mean, as long as I stay consistent, I'm in probably the best shape I've been in a long, long time. And that's one of the things I truly pride myself on is cardio for days. Yeah. And if I had cardio for days prior, now it's just building on that strength on top of that. With the cardio, I think it's going to be an impressive show. And the thing about my opponent's record and things of that nature is just the experience. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's nothing that separates me from him as far as he's human, I'm human. He bleeds, I bleeds, but I'm the one that wants it more. And especially being in my home turf, no one's going to step over here and thinking they got shit under wraps. You know what I mean? So that's just something I'm going to go out there. And you saw the last event, unfortunately, some of the guys took a loss where, like you mentioned too, I do wear that on my sleeve. And yes, I'm going to represent Def War to the fullest how we are a badass team and one of the staples in the Tampa Bay area, and if not the world, because the product that is going to be coming out of that gym from myself, from Coach Daniel, from everyone that's all in the community, like we got some OGs that are coming back from Def War to help coach around and things like that. So the culture now compared to previous years has been at its highest, I want to say. And as far as talent level, we're there as well too, but it's just a matter of getting in there, digging our nose into the dirt and getting the fuck to work, you know what I mean? So as long as we put in that good work, I don't see nothing but a glorious, victorious night.
Yeah, I love. I'm a Def War alumni. As a matter of fact, if you look at one of the very first Def War pictures ever on Danny's shelf, you're gonna see me standing there. I was more like a landlord. I think I might have trained a few times because I always got beat up. No, but I was at the gym all day. And I would get there in the morning, and Danny and them would be there. And this is a decade ago, or more. This is 12 years ago. Whenever the whole story behind it, I was a part of everything when Def War was created. And I was already at Tigers World, and Danny came over there to Tigers World with Anthony Gonzalez Jr., which is who we were talking about earlier. That that it's just this heart knit family of individuals. And Def War came in, and I had Tigers World with all my misfits, and then Danny brought in all the guys from Def War, but we became a one. It wasn't two different teams in one gym. It was one, and I really liked that about that. But Danny and I go way back. Danny goes back to my first pro fight. Danny was cornering a friend of mine, Joe Ricard, God rest his soul, and Danny looked at me and said something to me. I just saw your opponent dropping his hands after he throws the 2-1. So when he throws a 2-1, you just come over the top. And he told me that, and I swear to God, that's how I won the fight. So, and it was like right then I knew, God, Danny's knows what he's got going on. And Danny had been in the gym with us with Hector Macho Camacho before he passed away. So we came from a bunch of old legends. And so to see Danny doing what he's doing, and I'll always support him. That is a brother to me. That team is a brother to me. There's nobody in the world that can separate me from people that I've that I've loved. You know what I mean? And that goes for the Gracie Tampa guys for originally I was with, you know, and Devin. I love Devin Rodriguez was my friend since high school, since middle school.
Hell yeah.
So these are
That's
people
awesome,
that
man.
have been a part of my life for years, and that's why I respect you, and that's why I am a fan of you, and that's why I support you in everything you do because I have seen you become a part of this family, and now you're an elder. Now you're like an old man, Max.
Ain't that the fucking shit, bro? And I'm in my prime years too. Don't forget that shit. I just cracked 30, but I'm about to crack some heads open
Crack
too. With
30.
that.
Never mind. I'm sorry I even said that. You're 30. You still got 10 years left.
That's
So
what
with this
especially with
coming on,
time.
we got all kinds of great things going on. Let me ask you this. And this is a far-fetched question. This is kind of getting off. I got a couple good questions for you before we cut you loose. Um, what do you think about bare knuckle boxing?
Bro, I mean, it's definitely a gruesome sport to where like I've been approached to do bare knuckle boxing and stuff like that, but it's got to be after like MMA for sure. It's got to be after like my longevity where I want to make it to the UFC and then on.
Yeah.
Then I'll probably dabble in other things. Now, dirty boxing though, definitely not opposed to dirty boxing.
There we go.
So, I'll do some dirty boxing.
Yeah, there's a
That
plug
one
right
looks
there.
nice.
You know, I got them guys. We got Wolf. My good friend Wolf is like one of the faces of dirty
Okay.
boxing.
Yep. Yep, he is.
So
He's
Max,
the,
you hear that, Wolf? You hear that, Malky? You hear that, Mike? You guys, Max is
Hey, I'll
say
be-
it, Max? Say the last name for me.
Quinones.
Quinones.
Max the Candyman Quinones. He'll be a superstar. 125 or 35.
So this
That's dirty
Candyman
boxing.
thing, I heard you used to sell some candy out of your backpack.
That's right. So my freshman year, freshman year, there was a show when I was 17 on MTV, and there was a rapper that used to sell candy in school. But then I was like, man, I think that's a great idea. Let me take the last $20 my mom gave me to go to the movies. So there was a Walmart down the road. We went ahead to the Walmart instead of the movies. And back then, you were able to double up. So you get 2 boxes of 20 pieces of candy for $10, and you'll be able to come up. But then I ended up meeting someone who worked at BJ's, the Wholesale Food Club. And you're able to stack the employee discount with the coupons. So you would get a box of 30 for like $7.50. And you would get the chocolate version and then the Skittle packs with Starburst and stuff like that. I would sell 2 boxes a day, 4 days out of the week. Whatever's left over would be sold on Friday. And it would always be sold out. Up until my junior year, it had to have been like probably still first quarter, but not like middle of the year, first quarter. And then the disciplinary teacher called me and said, hey, you can't do that. And ended up suspending me to where I couldn't wrestle for one term. And my coach was like, no, fuck that, you're wrestling. So then got suspended for that one day, but I wasn't able to sell candy anymore, but the name still lived on. And it was just that hustle or go mentality, you know what I mean? Like, I was always known for even wrestling to being the hardest worker, like, in the room. Like, I would always put in my good energy, good hustle, hard work mentality, and I've always looked to try to make a come up, whether it's like, oh, you got something for sale? All right, how much can we maximize and profit off that and things like that. So when I became an MMA fighter, for some reason, I wanted to be called a Hitman. And I used to love Agent 47, the old school Hitman games. I even have the logo tattooed on my chest. But then, after the car accident and really diving deep into mental work and then getting some clarity on things, there's no need to present something that, not that I'm not a hitman per se, because I go out there and finish the contract no matter who stands in front of me. But at the same token, too, you want to plug into your roots and have an authentic root to your brand. So with the Candyman, people still call me Candyman to the name, Big Boy. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like,
I hated it. I want every time someone called me Big Boy, I want to knock them out.
Hey, but now look at it, brother.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, it's when it comes to the nicknames, it really comes down to the soul of the person. I don't care who it is. Some of these guys come up with nicknames, you know, it's not going to be them. But when it comes down to the, you know what, you're right. So you're basically, let's just put it, you are the Wolf of Wonka Town. You know what I mean? So I think the next haircut, because you always have these great extravagant hair. I think it should be like a Willy Wonka type shit. You know what I mean? For the Candyman now. But Max, man, I got 2 more questions. You know, one's a serious question, one is not a serious question. But the serious question I'm going to ask you right now is, In your mindset, in your ability, in your experience as a coach, a fighter, and a fan outside, how much of this fight game can, if you were telling this to a new fighter, how much of it is mental?
Everything.
100%.
Everything is mental, dude. Because there's a certain point where, like, yeah, the amateurs, you'll get someone that's more athletic. There's someone that's not as athletic, but they may have been studying a little bit longer. But when you get to the pros, everyone's in shape. Everyone's putting in work. Everyone's, at least in my mentality, I'm seeing my opponent as they're doing the same, if not more than I am, to where I had to double it up to make sure they're never outworking me. But when it comes to fight time, I know that we're both going to be in shape. But it's the person that put in that extra work, that put in those 1% differences that people are neglected on the side, is going to make that difference. And I think come January 31st, that 1% of the stuff I'm putting in daily, day in and day out, those are going to accumulate to where it's going to be victorious victory. And I tell the guys that I'm around, and granted, I haven't been coaching for too long. Coach gave me the assistant coaching position not too long ago, so I'm still adjusting as a coach, you know what I mean? Like, not trying to wear the losses, the wins on the sleeves that much. But I do get hyped up because it's like, man, like, come on, bitch. Like, you know what the fuck to do. We're not doing this shit. Right. And so it's one of those things of, like, just staying mentally plugged in and just remind the people that I am coaching that I'm not the one in there, but I had to set those little reminders of, like, oh, do this. If we're in the grappling exchange, all right, how are you going to do this, this, and that to get into your advanced position, things like that. So at the end of the day, coaching has helped me become more mentally acute to breaking down each technique to the proper form, how it translates into like multiple scenarios. And it really is just like learning multiple things, but how to segue and transition it from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And if that one doesn't work out, all right, where's your A, B, C, D, E to piggyback off that? And you always have those chain things that are going together. So I think this whole fight game is 100% mental if you're in shape.
It's mental. I am probably, and I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm a mental midget. Everyone's seen me break down before. You know what I mean? There's no, and as I get older, I can feel those big Chase Sherman knockouts. I can feel those things affecting my mentality. When I train for a fight, it's all about my performance. So the more confidence that I have in winning is the more that I get out of my camp. Maybe not just physically, because as I got older, I've realized I can't train like I used to because I would get hurt. So I had to train smarter, not harder. And some coaches don't see that. This last fight that I fought a couple of years ago, I went and hired John Ortolani because he didn't know me like Ralph did, or he didn't know me like Danny did. And I'm not going to push that hard for those guys because they're my friends. But for John, he took it easy on me. He was smart with me. He didn't push me too far. And if he did, I let him know I wasn't, you know what I mean? And that fight, but I also had Hawaii in my corner. But John pushed me just right. He was very smart with me. So I learned that I couldn't, if I beat myself up in camp, if I go through a bunch of injuries, I'm mentally going to have low motivation, momentum. But if I did it smart, I didn't have any distractions with my baby mamas and my daddies and all the whatever, you know what I mean? And I had my sponsors laid out, and I had that tight knit community with Dr. Doug, making sure I'm coming in and being adjusted and making sure I'm healthy every day. That's when I had the top confidence. So I think with the mentality, as long as you're putting everything you can into it and not half-assing it, it's going to be 100% mental, but it's going to help you win. Last question. It's a cool question. Dream fight, dead or alive fighter. If I said you could fight this person right now for $1 million, he's dead or alive. You can bring him back from the life, or he's whatever. Who would it be?
$1 million.
Well, let's just say richest with all of your wildest dreams. More than $1 million.
Shit.
Nobody. I mean, $1 million's nothing anymore.
Ah, damn.
Like, it's your legacy. It's the last fight you're ever gonna fight, Max. I'm giving you financial independence for you and your great grandchildren. And it can be a dead or alive person to fight, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Like around the same weight class, or not necessarily? Does anyone?
Whatever you want.
All right.
Anyone.
5.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I kind of got this one from Susan Singari.
I'm gonna say Bruce Lee. The reason being, we're around the same frame. That's one.
Holy
Two,
shit! I know you.
he's around the same frame, but then he's one like the pioneers of the sport. You know what I mean? Just to say like you got to step in the ring was like the legend, like the ones that like people are still quoting to this day, however many like 50 plus years later kind of deal. Like, come on now.
Listen, he said,
we
you gotta be like water.
Bruce Lee.
Water doesn't go through things; it goes around things. Me, on the other hand, I like punching my fist through things. But you know, you're right. He was a Methodist martial artist. It would be the highest stake for you. It would be like next to Chuck Norris. You know what I mean? So that's a cool answer. Max, we're gonna see you January 31st in Clearwater. You guys are gonna be able to get tickets. I'm gonna have some links. That's January 31st. January 17th, we have World Class Fight League. You have a few World Class Fight League belts, don't you?
I do. I got 2 of them. Thanks.
And we're gonna see you at World Class Fight League on June 17th too, right?
In the event that train doesn't get in the way, I'll show up.
All right, man. Listen, Max, any sponsors, friends, or family you want to thank?
Oh, man, first, all glory to God. You know what I mean? Without the love support of my Savior, Jesus Christ, and things like that, like, we as a family, we know how to operate, but it's just something so beautiful when you're able to put the word of God into everything as well, too. My beautiful wife, family, my mom, dad, stepdad, father-in-law, everyone that is involved in this camp, you guys know, you guys mean the world to me, and I plan on putting on a great show, not only for you guys, but for the team, everyone as well. You guys already know Death Force, who I'm representing to the day I die, and that's my fight team, man. Thank you, Coach Daniel, Coach Marcos, everyone that's on board, helping me prepare for this camp. Then we got the sponsors, you know what I mean? So we got Omega Gamma Delta, a men's organization, fraternity that I'm a part of. And we give back to the homeless empowerment program and different charities as well. Black Label Moving Company has been a long time sponsor of mine. Good buddy of mine, Sean. He's out of Tampa area. Anywhere that you guys need moving services, we're able to help. And like you mentioned earlier, I got my own personal business. It's a nutritional, diet-based accountability coaching service, Candyman Cooks. So not only do you get meal prep services from your boys truly, but you also get some insights on how to properly go about whatever goals you have, whether it's losing weight for a fight, dieting, or just looking to have convenience from saving time from cooking. No Limit Technology is a cybersecurity company that has been helping me since probably my 3rd fight now. And Stan's been coming around, even with the wrestling department too, former fighter. And we just locked in a nonprofit, actually. I'm the health and wellness ambassador for video games, educating, financial freedom, entrepreneurship.org. And that's actually something that I'm a big believer on. I love video gaming. PUBG is one of my favorite games of all time. But there's a lot of issues with people just staying on the sticks and not getting out and being active as well. So that's where I'm going to come in and hopefully motivate some people to get up their asses while also serving the community and giving back to these organizations that not only serves the youth, but also our disabled veterans as well too. So anyone that is of service and needing of this service, shoot me a DM and I'll point you in the right direction for that kind of stuff. And other than that, Big Boy, thank you for taking the time to have me on your show, bro.
You know, you make me so proud hearing you talk. You're turned into such the fightrepreneur. You know, that's a word I came up with at Tigers World back when we were there in the Orange Walls. And to see you do these things the right way, it makes me proud of you. And it makes me very proud of Danny, too. So I want to thank you for tonight, man. We're going to talk to you more. We're going to put your links and all that stuff in the bios. I'll edit it all out. We'll make some shorts for you. And, man, I got to be honest, bro. I'm super happy you came on.
When I go to sleep, my head I like go out and kill them with stuff double torches. For the team going copy some for it. The fuck out of the
brother. Easy, bro.
Just cut out my bitch, she was getting annoying. Give a fuck if you
Quinones, man.
But pockets as well.
Max
We
is,
took our eggs, we out of our
he's
shell.
fighting
Our
soon,
vision
guys.
is spread, the eyes
He's
on
gonna
us
be
well.
fighting
We can't
January
pay attention, we
31st in
gotta pay
Clearwater.
bills. It doesn't make
This
sense
kid's
if it's
tough.
not making meals.
He's
We
been
do
around
not
the
take
block.
pictures, we not taking L's. If y'all love to
I've seen
listen,
him
then
grow
I
up.
need to tell. If y'all scared to
And,
visit, then I take
yeah,
it there. If
I'm
heaven is
excited
real,
for this
then y'all
man.
big as
I'm
hell.
excited for this young man. I think this is something that is going to be big. I love it when pro shows come to town and the Tampa, and especially when they're in the smaller ones. It works and it makes it real good. Wow. Where are we at? 35 minutes into the Big Boy Live podcast. We got to hear some real good stuff with Max. Anyone listening, whether you're into fighting, whatever you do, whatever it is, it's not just a sport for barbarians. You feel me? This is a sport for people who need outlets, for people who need structure, for people who need discipline. That's why a lot of great military guys come out of the military or law enforcement and become good fighters. Now, when it comes to the mentality and the mentally of it, the mental focus of it, that's the hardest part. I mean, I can tell you right now, I had a friend who was a sports psychologist. He did it all, as a matter of fact. We'll talk about this real quick. This is big boy story time. Real good friend. I'm not going to say no names. But I had a good friend who was a sports psychologist. Before becoming a sports psychologist, he was a combat psychologist in the military. So he was in the Army. And he told me that combat psychology was the biggest scam, but the most important psychology over addiction, child abuse, any other psychology, because what he was doing was he was trying to convince these soldiers that they were going out into combat and they were risking their lives, but they were doing it all for the glory of the country, which I get it. But you have a trained psychologist burning that in your head. Well, when he retired from combat psychology, he became a sports psychologist. And he worked with me, he worked with a couple of my friends, and he told me, man, I got to be honest. I've dealt with some real good stuff out there in the field, in the combat field. But when I'm dealing with you fighters, wow. So, the mentality of it is it's tough. It's a tough discipline. It's fun. I enjoy it. But where I think my heart lies in it is the fact that it gives an outlet to children. It gives an outlet to everyone. The gym that I'm a part of now, we're over here training at Empire MMA and Fitness. There's a few students in there, guys like Elvin that I've known for over a decade. They just it's a part of their life. It is, and there's a couple students over there that have, academic problems in school, behavioral problems in school, and they're able to come into this room with punching bags and mats, and they're able to let out their aggression. They listen to the instructor like a drill sergeant with discipline. So I really do feel like combat sports is the answer. If they would implement combat sports into our school system with the right instructors and the right structure, I think that this could possibly help some of the troubled youths. Max just told us, he just explained to us that that's how he got into it. All right? That's how I got into it. Ask anyone, anybody. It's how I got into it. So when you go to these events, like these local events, World Class Fight League, when you go to these events like Combat Quest, when you go to these events like Trauma Fight League, when you go to these events that are locally, there's more than just guys kicking each other's butts. It's a lifestyle. It's a camaraderie. It's a way of life for some of us. All right. There's no secret. I have a criminal record. When I was younger, I made a poor decision. It sacrificed my life. I had nowhere. Rob let me in his gym. I helped build walls. I painted. And they were a part of my life. And they knew that I had gotten in trouble when I was younger. They knew my circumstances, but they were behind me. They built me up as a man. They built me up as a human being. And they made me realize that I had a superpower, which was fighting. I was just fucking good at it. I'm still good at it. I love it. So I'm not getting arrested for it. I've got structure in my life now. I've got a family with a gym. And that's what happens out here with these guys. And that's what it is. We're sitting here now, and it's literally the time of there's a gym on every corner. Okay? There's a gym across the street from my house. There's a gym that I go to down the street from my house. There's a gym on the other side next to Walmart. There's a gym down on Henderson. There's a gym over here. There is an MMA gym on every corner in South Tampa. Does that hurt business? Absolutely not. You know why? Because it's creating a community. It's creating a camaraderie. Even though we all might be we're still all, and in the end, we're all going to be one. That's what's happened in my career. I remember in the day when Ralph was the enemy. I was with Gracie Tampa, and Monster was fixing to fight Ralph, and Ralph was the enemy. Then he became one of my best friends. Now we're all friends together. So it eventually becomes one big family. That's what this fight business is all about, you know. And I stand by it. So yeah, we're getting deep into the Big Boy Live Therapy podcast. The Big Boy Live Network is what it is. Good things coming. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm back. I'm going to be going to Philadelphia for the Knuckle Mania. That's February. I believe it's February 7th. I'm going to be cornering Zach Calamus, and I'm also going to be reporting for Bare Knuckle News from Knuckle Mania in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we're going to be checking that out. I'm also a Knuckle Mania alumni. I fought on the first Knuckle Mania. I believe it was the first Knuckle Mania. Got my ass kicked by Dylan Kleckler, but I made it, came back, and that's, whatever. But I'm excited to go do that. Again, big events coming up this month. We've got World Class Fight League, January 17th. Ralph Garcia's got another giant card over in the Cuban Civic Center in Town and Country. We did it there last time. It's an amazing venue, lots of room, lots of stuff. It's I'm excited about it. I think I like some of the fighters. We got one of my favorite guys, someone I mentioned earlier in the podcast, John Ortolani. He's going to be fighting on it. He is actually an amazing black belt under Hobson Moore. I've been training for a long time. Got a whole ton of MMA fights. We got guys like Matt Ferriola, not Frivola. Matt Ferriola, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He's going to be coming over there and competing in some jiu-jitsu bouts. So this is going to be something that you guys aren't going to want to miss. It's at the Cubic Civic Center. It's January 17th. It's like a whole day of fights. I'm pretty sure the doors are going to open at like 3. I'm not sure. Big Boy Live will be there. We're going to be giving you some of the results. We're going to be doing some interviews. We might do a small podcast, pre-fight podcast at the weigh-ins. We might do something. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But we're going to get some guests from that fight coming into as well. So we'll get some of those guys in here. We're going to get them interviewing and all that good stuff. But here's the first night of the Big Boy Live Network. We got sound working pretty good. Thank you. We got our boy Little John in the house. What? So we're good. I'm really excited that Max came on the show tonight. Max is a kid, that he's a young up-and-comer. He's fighting January 31st on a different show that we were just talking about. It's this one here. It's Combat Quest 7 Pro. A good friend of mine, Brandon's been putting that show on for a while. He trained with me years ago. Brandon was in a horrible car accident and is now not able to train or do anything, but he still keeps his love going for the sport by putting on some great shows, great production, and I just love to be a part of it. Any of my friends that do this, I love being a part of it, and it's going to be exciting. But hey, there's going to be more guests. Next week's show is going to have a pre-recorded gym promo in it. So we're going to be doing, from now on going forward, this show will be 15 minutes of this, 15 minutes of that. We're going to have a gym promo, so I'm going to come to your gym and promote your gym, promote what fighters you want. And we're going to get guys here in studio as well, and we're going to start having some good talks. I'm not trying to be Joe Rogan. I'm not trying to be Alex Jones. I'm not trying to be Theo Vaughn. I'm just trying to be Big Boy. So we're going to be having fun. I hope everybody liked that was watching tonight. I was going to go an hour, but you know what? I think I want to listen and watch it again. There's a lot of stuff to be said, but we can keep going. I want to thank my sponsor, first of all. You heard Max talking about Dr. Doug. You guys, I'm telling you, I can tell you the first time I met Dr. Doug. The first time I met Dr. Doug was in Joe Redner's gym. It was in South Tampa, and Doug had an office there. And I had my first pro fight coming up, and I broke my hand. I punched some dude in the head in a bar fight and, just crushed my hand. My index finger was on the other side of my hand. And so I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out. But I could not pass up fighting this fight because I had to have this fight. I trained for this fight. I went to a Hector Macho Camacho with my finger sideways. It's still messed up. It's still just dangling there. And so they took me in Doc's office, and it was Doc said, okay, we're gonna set it, but we got to go back into the gym. So him, myself, Matt Arroyo, and Ferret Ron Nagel went in. They held me on the ground, and Doc sat on my hand and popped it back into place, and then wrapped it up. So then once he did that, it was it. So I had to fight with it, and but it was good ever since then. Well, my whole career, Doc was always behind me 100%, always backing me up, always hooking me up. I got in a car accident, Doc was there behind me, just like he was for Max. It's just a tight-knit community. The man is great at what he does. So I'm excited to have him as a sponsor. He's always been a part of everything I do, and I'm really happy to be able to say that. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. We had fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun. I think that we're going to be doing this again real soon. So we'll see you. Thank you very much. Tune in for the next show.
Cause he might end up in the coffin. We want all the smoke, we to leave a bitch coughing. Talk about we ain't doing no talk. They tripping this bitch, hope he ready to off him. Who the biggest, he ready to walk him. I got paid, we ain't doing no bondsman. Bitch, we having you